Welcome back to new video in the series of Semantic Kernel. In the previous video, we saw how the Semantic Kernel interact with the OpenAI API to create an agent. And one of the major options when I show that code, it is a little bit too OpenAI derived. Okay, so you need to understand that the result object it's an OpenAI result, blah blah blah. Is it possible to simply call the kernel like I did in a very previous video in which I simply send a string to a semantic kernel object and get the answer with a tool call? Well, let's see some example. First of all, in this example, I have created a kernel and then I'm creating a function from prompt. So this code it creates an assistant and it is created in the very first step of your software, okay? And which in this code you can use handlebar templates, everything, and you need to be sure that this is the option you are issuing to the OpenAI prompt execution setting, okay? So the auto-invoke kernel function. Once you created this assistant, okay, and the assistant is okay, you can simply use this code where you create a kernel argument, you specify the question of the user, and you invoke async this assistant with this argument. So in this situation, as you can see, the plugin is called, the fmpeg is invoked, and you got a result, the audio has been successfully extracted. So in this situation, you move the complexity of configuring and understanding that you indeed are using OpenAI in the code where you are creating the assistant. Usually it's created in the startup of the program. Once you have the assistant, that is nothing more than a create function from prompt and a kernel function. You can simply use the function simply. And if you want to call directly with the prompt, you can have a different option. Also, you can create a kernel argument and you can simply create the execution setting. And the important thing, you specify the tool call behavior auto-invoke kernel function. But this is a standard code because this is the code in which you are selecting which model you want to use, the token, the temperature. So this is standard code. And if you invoke prompt async, and this time I'm not using any function, okay, I can simply invoke the kernel with this simple code, okay? So these are the all instruction you need to use your plugins, and this is the key. And as you can see, the result is the same. I've called plugin with video file, so my plugin gets invoked, and finally I got the real answer, that is the audio has been successfully extracted, so it's really simple. So to have a recap of what is happening, the API allow you to specify tools. As you can see in the first request, the semantic kernel tells with the tools section to the large language model, which are the tools that you have at disposition in your machine. And then the answer can include a tool call. So in this situation, the choices, the response of the large language model has role assistance, but instead of giving you a message, it gives you a tool calls. So it is telling you that you need to call a tool to solve the user problem. And the finish reason, it's a tool call. So you can understand from finish reason parameters, which is the type of response in this situation as a function call. And then with the second call, you see that the conversation is not the standard chat conversation you can expect, where you have user, assistant, user, assistant. You have user and assistant, but since the assistants answer with a tool calls, the subsequent piece of the answer, the chat, is the role tool. So this allows large language model like Chat GPT to understand that the conversation is a user asks something, the assistant tells you to invoke a tool, the tool answer with a certain information. And you really need to understand that this makes you understand that when you create a plugin, when you create a tool for your semantic kernel program, you need to carefully decide which is the return value. In this situation, we are returning a simple string. Tool call content is the name of the extracted file. It is important because the subsequent call to the chat model will include the answer of the tool inside the chat evolution. So it is important to make the large language model aware of what happened and which is the answer of the tool. And thanks to this special way to interact with a large language model like Chat GPT, it is quite easy to create an agent. And thanks to Semantic Kernel, it is really, really easy to let Semantic Kernel create the agent for you. You just need to create your function in C# and everything is done for you. Bye-bye. I'm waiting you for the next video.